Welcome back to Let's Get Critical, the podcast where musicians review music that we all love or hate. We are the band Frantic Romantic. We're buds. We're right here in LA, and we write music. We perform music. We do all those fun things that musicians do in LA. Join with me, as always, is our good pal
Ruben
and
Ziek Zero.
And my name's Mr. Kerosene, decidedly. I am Mr. Kerosene. Today we're talking about an album that I am actually thrilled to talk about because it's so far outside of my wheelhouse. And it was great kind of discovering it because this is a genre of music that I've wanted to get into a lot more than I have. But I will not announce it, and I will not explain it. This was a Ziek Zero pick, and take it away, Zeke.
Hello, my name is Ziek Zero. Thank you for watching us. Yeah, dude, this is my pick because I think it's a masterpiece. It's a master classic hip hop album, and it's considered one of the gold gems from the hip hop community. I discovered this late into the game, but I always heard people talking about it, and I read a lot of articles about it too. Because when I first started listening to rap, it was around in middle school. Ice Cube was huge, man. So I listened to Ice Cube's Predator album, and that's what got me into hip hop. I was like, oh shit, dude, I love this. That, and I would listen to Tupac, of course. Wu-Tang came out. I was really big into that. I didn't listen to Nas until early 2000 when I heard about this album. Because what I heard about this album in particular, Illmatic. There's another album called Stillmatic, but Illmatic came out and it wasn't really well known. Nas was pretty new back in the early 90s. So it didn't get popular until a few years later. You know, people would talk about it and reference it too. So right now, it's an album that people strive to make and to hold within their catalog. Not too many people have classic albums in the hip hop world. So this is considered one of the best albums out there. So
yeah, you know, it's interesting. I was doing some research on this as I do, and you know, just reading up on Nas's backstory. I guess the full name is Nasty Nas. Is that true?
I mean, he goes by a lot of different things. Nostradamus, you know. Yeah.
But there's a song off this album called Halftime, which had been floating around for like a few years before. I like it was, he had this collaborator, Ill Will. And I think they had worked on Halftime together. I could be wrong, but, you know, so I think as early as like 92, maybe, this song Halftime was floating around. And then, his collaborator, Ill Will, had been, killed, before there was any kind of record deal or anything. So it sort of seemed like they were picking up steam, and then that happened. And then sort of building up the pieces. So this album came out in April 19th of 1994. The term Illmatic refers to Nas's incarcerated friend Illmatic Ice. And yeah, that's about it. So for anybody who doesn't know me very well, which is hopefully everybody listening to this, I'm not too well versed in rap, right? So this was a great way of me just kind of, you know, getting more knowledge. There was an interesting thing, and I think you guys would probably have more context than I would, only because of the timing. I had a friend who's maybe like 3 years older than me that talked about how MTV in the 90s went from like those grunge bands, right, in the early 90s, really dominating the
charts,
culture,
yeah,
to about like around mid 90s, like that turning over to 90s rap to gangster rap.
You know what's crazy is, what you just said. This came out in April 19th of 1994.
Yeah.
Cobain died like 10 days before that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
shit.
crazy.
They found him. Well, he was, I guess, pronounced dead 10 days before that. So that's like definitely, I could see the shift starting to happen,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's totally symbolic. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of a passing of the torch, so to speak. But I don't know, Ruben, what were your general thoughts about this album?
For me, I always remember what I always think about with Nas in general is just the beef he had with Jay-Z. Like there was this deep competition that had always gone on, and I think because Jay-Z got so big and so popular, I think that's kind of why Nas didn't get as big as he could have.
Interesting.
Because they, since they were kids, right? They were always, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that they were always doing battles and stuff like that,
There's actually there's a documentary out on it talking about it. Truthfully, I don't know how far back the beef goes. I do remember when Jay-Z came out with the Blueprint. The thing about New York hip hop is whoever's on top, whoever's everybody's talking about. If you want to be on top, you gotta kill that guy. Lyrically, you gotta kill him with the beat. Yeah. You gotta be top of your game. And at that time, even though Nas was very popular in the underground, he wasn't as mainstream as Jay-Z wanted to be, right? And what he found that he had to do was he had to challenge Nas to do that. So yeah, right away he started talking all this. When Jay-Z started coming out, he started talking all this shit. And Nas, it took a while for Nas to respond because around that time I think he got a divorce, his mom died, so
he was dealing with life shit.
Yeah, his head wasn't in it, and his brother kept telling him, "Hey, you got to respond. This guy's coming up. He's coming after you. He's trying to take your crown." So it took a while, but yeah, man, the beef goes pretty deep and pretty bad, man. Like they go back and forth and they talk a lot of shit on the album. So if you hear about that, but yeah, like you talk about, the reason I think Nas didn't really get to those heights early on in his career, as far as like being so mainstream like Jay-Z was,
right,
was because his catalog was, some would say, inconsistent. Even though his lyrics are like way above average, he wasn't making radio hits.
Right.
And that's what people expected later on in hip hop to make, after like, Bad Boy came out and Puff Daddy. Everybody expected like his flashy type of thing. So and Nas wasn't doing that. But still, if you ask certain circles, man, he's definitely one of the top 5 rappers alive.
In most people's lists, definitely.
And he's definitely controversial, but this is my opinion. He's number 1 on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, in all honesty. I love Nas. I love, even though his albums are they're not all classics, because this one stands out above.
Right.
All his albums I think are really good,
I just heard a video essay from FD Signifier. I always shoot you those videos.
Oh yeah. I love
he was
that,
talking about how like he said this was really petty, right? I don't know if this is accurate, but he said Jay-Z still to this day will always kind of be like, okay, Nas is putting out a new album and he'll put out his album the same week. He'll go in the studio, rush, get something out. So it always kind of keeps them out of the circulation, like he beats them to press basically,
Yeah. Well, Jay-Z, he holds a lot of power now, dude.
He does,
crazy, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's kind of petty, man. That sucks.
It is. And Nas, as of late, dude, he's been putting out albums every year, sometimes twice a year within the past.
I saw that, yeah.
And they're all really good, man. They're all really good. I listened to them back to back. Within the past 4 years, I think he's consistently putting out something.
I wish there was that kind of competitiveness with other genres. You
and I always wanted a rival, right? When we talk about bands, let's go be friends with somebody, or like, hey, we need to like publicly be rivals, but it never works.
I mean, even if it, and obviously, like in a nothing that's gonna
Oh, right. Escalate,
end
right.
poorly. But
Yeah.
just the mere fact of like, just that competitiveness. I feel like that's a lot of that is gone. From, for example, rock bands or whatever, right?
Well, what's an example, right? Like Nirvana
Cobain
and
Axl Rose, right?
And that's probably the
Eddie
last.
Vedder.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the last time that really happened, though. Unless I'm wrong. Hey, everybody in the comments, if you know of any rivalries between, different acts, we would love to hear about
The
them.
Gallagher brothers, but they were in the same band, Yeah.
Elton John and Madonna.
Elton John and Madonna. I haven't heard of that one.
Yes.
Eminem and somebody else. I forget who.
Everybody.
everyone.
Fred Durst
Yeah.
and everybody.
Yeah.
Well, there was that Scott Stapp, Fred Durst, boxing match that never happened.
Yeah.
That's I don't like both of those people, man.
Yeah.
Wasn't there also like Eminem and Fred Durst were gonna like do some like track that was I was just watching this too, but it was like they were gonna put together a track, whatever, making fun of someone else, but then like Fred Durst, the day of, Fred Durst was like, hey man, I think I have a cold or something, or like, oh, my teeth hurt or something. So then he just didn't show up to the session. Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, with that said, I would love to just start talking about, our bottom three, top three. For anybody who's new to the show, we always rotate around to have the person who picked the album go last. So in this case, if you're listening to this, the first person to go would be me. So getting into our bottom three, I'm going to go with, my first pick is going to be One Time for Your Mind. One Time for Your Mind. And I'm just going to say this right off the bat. This is the kind of album where you're either all in or you're all out. It's a lot of the same criteria for all the tracks. So it made it hard for me to pick bottom
Tops or
three,
bottoms, right.
top three. Because it all flows together like
Almost like a stream of
like a
consciousness, right?
soundscape. Yeah, which I really respect. I think it's really cool. But it did make it hard for me to make choices. So this was one that stood out to me, actually, oppositely. It didn't stand out to me. So I picked it as something that maybe didn't need to be on the album.
I'm right there with you, Samesies. It's One Time for Your Mind. I think the instrumentation's cool, but I feel like the flow gets kind of lost with a lot of like what the cadences that he was doing in the other tracks. I think this is one where the lyrics are a little more. There's a better message there, but the way the flow's delivered kind of gets lost in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that you guys picked that one too, because I picked, that's on my list too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't adding anything new to it. It wasn't anything different, but it also didn't stand out. So, also, you could pull that one out. Yeah.
I think it also suffers, unfortunately, from being a track that's towards the end of the album. And so by then, it's like the message of the album, after so many times of hearing it, it's like, well, this is just like one more instance of us addressing the same kind of things. Yeah. So, all right. My next pick in the bottom three is Halftime. Not to say that's a bad song, and this is actually kind of a really specific reason for not liking the song. I'm not a fan of the other F word. There's songs where they use it ironically, right? There's songs where they use it to be a hurtful term, and there's a self-awareness about it. I don't think this is one of those songs.
Yeah.
I forgot that was on there.
Yeah. And here's the thing. This is the 90s, like
Different time,
right? We always got to keep in mind presentism and right. But if I had to pick a song and I had to pick a reason for that song, then that would be my next pick.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
For me, second bottom on my list is the song "Life's a Bitch." You know, it's like a classic line, right? I'm sure we've all heard it. It's been used in other things. For me, the reason it's on my list is there's like this story that I think about. I was what was I? I was probably like not even 19 yet, and I was out partying with a bunch of the band members that I was with at the time.
Yeah.
And this dude who was playing with me, his name was Robin. He's a little bit older. He took us to a college party, and I was just out of high school, so I was like, yeah, I want to go to a college party. You know, we went, we had fun. By the end of the night, we ended up at his house, and it was like a bunch of us, and we're all trying to fall asleep. And everybody's like, you know, had too much to drink, and you know, had some real bad Jack in the Box, so we're all just ready to go to sleep, you know. And he fucking runs in the room. It's like 3 a.m. And the top of his lungs, in the middle of everybody, he's like, "Life's a bitch, and then you die." You know, he fucking wakes everybody up. You know, and he's like, he just kept saying it over and over for like 15 minutes. And I was like, man, I fucking hate that song now. You know.
You know, I will say more than anything in that situation, it's the fucking Jack in the Box.
It's the fucking Jack in the Box. Yeah.
I can't eat Jack in the Box anymore.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. It used to be towards the top of my list for fast food.
Yeah.
But then like San Jose has that Jack in the Box that's like right out.
Yeah.
And
I lived right down the street. You did too. You lived right down the street from me.
Yeah.
At one point I did too. I lived on
that's right.
10th and 10th and William or something. But like, you know, you walk over there, you get like whatever they had, like their tacos. Dude, the tacos are the worst, man. Anyways, that's my hot take from that. Is
that's probably what
Jack
it was.
in the Box.
Was it like $2 for $1? Or
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
It's like when you're down on life, man. Here's some tacos that'll make you throw up. Yeah.
So the dude probably had a bad jumbo jack, some tacos. He's like, "Oh, she likes some bitch."
Then you die. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, damn. That's a good story, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Robin. Yeah.
Man, for me, it's gonna be "Represent." I think there's a lot of one-liners in that song that didn't really age well. Like, "Yo, word is born." You know, it's they kind of they throw out all these one-liners that it kind of seems like it's almost like using the latest lingo, but not thinking about how it doesn't age well.
It doesn't age
right?
well.
So that song, I don't think it aged well on the album because the rest of the album had so much to say, and plus it was towards the end. You expect all the like, it's gonna go out with a bang, you know. So "Represent," I wasn't really feeling, you know. I think at that time too, that song, it sounded like a lot of other songs that came out during that time. Because this album's so well produced. I think I was reading an article where they were talking about how like they grabbed a bunch of like the best producers, even like a Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We're gonna get together with this great poetic lyricist, and we're gonna make a classic album." That was the whole plan.
Yeah.
So this is one of the tracks it wasn't really up there. It's not a bad song, but it just wasn't up to par with the rest of the album.
Yeah. It's interesting. That song kind of floated between, it was like either on my top 3 or my bottom 3. And then I finally decided, well, that just means like it's not on either. Right. Mm-hmm. But I know what you mean. It gets repetitive.
Repetitive, right?
For one, I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, represent. But
represent,
yeah.
represent.
Yeah,
It's catchy.
it is. Yeah. And then number 1, I get the feeling this might be everybody's choice, but maybe it's just me.
No.
I think so.
The Genesis.
Yeah.
Because okay, like here's the thing.
Well, I was telling Zeke, you know, with Marcelo, that's a bad introduction.
Well, yeah, because Marcelo said he listened.
The first thing he heard was the Genesis, you know?
And like, here's the thing. One thing when I started listening to rap, one thing I had to get used to was like the skits.
Yeah.
You know, and like whether they count as like, Like, because one thing I don't like in rock albums is also skits. I'm like, dude, just
give me music,
just
man.
give me music.
Hear that
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I understand, like, sometimes in rap albums, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's sort of setting up the motif for a lot of things, right? It's like you kind of need it there because you're setting up exactly like what the music's going to be about,
Right.
Now, with the Genesis, I mean, it's again a case of like, okay, I have to pick something, so I'm going to pick the thing that's like easy pickings, right? Like, it never, like, there is a beat that kicks in, but it never really takes off, and then it just goes to the next track, and then that's it. So that's the top of my bottom three right there.
Same for me. It's like that Chappelle Show skit. Turn my motherfucking headphones up, you know? And like, I never feel like he gets into the song. I feel like they're kind of like hyping like they're going to, and then the song's over.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It just left me kind of like in that, you know, like, damn, it didn't really go anywhere, you know?
Like, even if it just bled into another track, like even if it was just bam, here's another track, I would have been like, oh, cool,
right.
But like, yeah, it just sort of fell off.
It was like a little too long for being like, if it's just going to be a little quick intro, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. I'm pretty sure there's an article out there explaining why he put that on the intro, because I really don't. You really didn't need it. I mean, I get it. He's trying to set it up. Because right, they're drinking Henny or something like that.
Right.
But it's an intro, but I wasn't really feeling it either, man.
Yeah.
With that said, we've gotten all the
cynicism
out of the way. Let's talk about what we love. Let's talk about our top three. So my number 3 choice is going to be It Ain't Hard to Tell, which is the closing track. And I just thought this song, for one, it has a lot of energy behind it. It feels a lot bigger than a lot of the other songs.
Production-wise, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like a full band kind of. There's a lot of arrangement going on, right? There's horns. I don't know. It's something that I could really groove to and get behind. So as an album closer, I thought it was great. That's
awesome. Yeah. That's on my list, but that's not on that point of the list. For me, it's One Love, Q-Tip. I think it's kind of a banger. You really can't go wrong with Q-Tip. Production wise, I think it's kind of like one of the stronger songs, and I think its structure kind of hits a little more, so it stands out to me, you know?
Yeah, it's a good choice.
New York State of Mind was mine. Immediately, it brings you into his world of danger, I guess you could say, because I think there's a lyric in there where he talks about where the nights are jet black, right? So when you see his music videos, they're kind of bleak. His neighborhood seems pretty bleak, and that's a lifestyle that here in California, man, you don't see that type of poverty where like they live in big old like these projects, but they're like buildings.
Mm-hmm. Right? Marcy?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was Marcy, right? Yeah.
So immediately it kind of feels like you're watching a movie, right? He's describing his lifestyle. He's describing like he has to sell drugs to survive. And it's I wouldn't say it's typical in that genre, but I think during that time he was poetically explaining it, as almost like a lost child in this world, meant to be a man, meant to grow up in this environment, and he had to survive. He has to survive. And I think it's a great introduction to the whole album. It sets up the mood and the whole flavor of it. Yeah. He's very poetic. I think he is very poetic. His lyrics are very, man, they're awesome.
Yeah.
So that's my.
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
I think my number 2 is Memory Lane, parentheses, Sittin' in the Park. Again, I with this album, I think the winners for me are when there's a little bit more going on with the arrangements. And this had like keys, and it had like I think there might have been like a sitar in there or something. But I don't know. It just felt a little bit like, as a song, it felt a little bit more accessible. It kind of got away from, some of the more grim themes of the album, and it kind of gave you a little break, for something a little bit more, I don't know, just something a little bit more different. But yeah.
For me, number 2 on the list is one of the ones on your bottoms, Represent. Definitely repetitive, but I think in general, it's kind of like something I could have heard on the radio a little more, Maybe because of that, because of those taglines that were just like, becomes almost like an earworm,
Yeah.
True.
I feel like the flows are pretty good on this one too. I think that's kind of some of the strongest stuff on the record, as far as like the way the cadence is,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely like, I think on the album, it's the easiest thing to remember. It's just that represent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost kind of feels almost like a party song, man. You could be out there with your boys, be like, chilling in the park or at a house party when somebody screams, "Life's a bitch!" Right?
Yeah, it's a Taco Bell, some Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box, man. Yeah. The thing about Jack in the Box, they came up with the Munchie. What is it? The
Munchie Box.
The Midnight Munchie menu.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and they had crazy zany. Have you tried any of the zany stuff they had?
Like a grilled cheese something
with tater tots on it.
Yeah.
I've actually delved into that menu, and it's pretty good actually. The next morning is not so great.
No,
I'm not gonna lie about that. So like I cannot have that anymore because my heart, it hurts afterwards.
Yeah.
Digestion and all that, man. But it's pretty good. While it lasted.
Yeah. I mean, growing up in the East Bay suburbs, right? It's like the only thing you had really late at night was like Denny's had the equivalent to that, right? They had this whole phase where it's like,
I remember that.
Putting bacon in your milkshakes and stuff.
Have you tried that?
No, man.
It's actually, I have, man. It's pretty gross. I'm not gonna lie. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But there was so few things open late at night, and like one of them was Jack in the Box, and one of them was Denny's, and I think the other one was maybe Taco Bell with like the 4th meal menu or whatever.
It's like almost the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think Arby's is number 4, right? I don't know, man. Shit.
Oh God, Arby's.
It's those 7-Eleven taquitos.
Dude,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I still like those, the beef ones. Those are dope, dude.
I was gonna.
The sour cream ones are good. I mean, the cream cheese ones are bomb too.
The rollers, right?
Yeah,
the rollers,
yeah, those are bomb.
Dude, buffalo chicken rollers.
That's pretty fucking good.
Man.
Maybe I'll have one on the way out of here.
I might have
7-Eleven's right here around the corner.
You're welcome, 7-Eleven.
That's like my Sunday night dinner and shit, because my family goes out. I'm like, I just walk to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Eat shit that's terrible for you,
I ain't gonna lie, man. I was running late over here. I didn't eat no breakfast. I was gonna grab a taquito, but I was like, no.
Sometimes they're too crusty. You look at them, you're like, hell no.
Because I'll probably,
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have got one anyways. Damn.
Dude, I'm getting hungry for a 7-Eleven
7-Eleven
buffalo chicken roller just thinking about it, man. So okay.
You have a 2, right?
Yeah, I went with
okay.
Now I think it's up to you.
For my number 1, right?
Number 1, yep.
Yeah.
So unsurprisingly, I think Zeke might already know what this is because I texted him a clue. But I think if you were to take a vertical slice of this album, right? Or let's just say, let's just say the song that you should listen to off this album, in my opinion, the one song you should listen to, if you were to listen to one song, would be New York State of Mind. I think that's the hit. I don't know if it was the hit.
Stairway to
I don't know if it was the hit. Yeah.
I mean, maybe not according to everybody, but
we should talk about that.
sleep is the cousin of death. I don't know, man. That resonated.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
holy, yeah. No, that's. I mean, whether you agree with that or not, it's like it's such a like a. It cuts into you, you know. I mean, especially like. You know, when there's so much hinging on you having the energy to get stuff done, which is the situation of being an adult, like,
Yeah.
you know, whether it's 90s rap or just surviving, right? I mean, you're always fighting sleep, and I don't know. That song has just like a real like. There's hustle in the feeling of that song. It's like, yeah, you need to like you need to go out there and
Make
do
this shit
shit.
happen.
Do shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it might be about New York, but you know, definitely parallels in every big city, and especially in LA. I think I'd be curious to know what the LA state of mind is.
right?
Do all that, but have a pink mohawk. You know,
I rap about coffee.
Coffee. Yeah.
Sleep is the cousin of death. That's why I drink coffee, right?
For me, top of my list is "It Ain't Hard to Tell."
yeah.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you know, beautiful arrangements. It's Michael Jackson, man. That's great, you know. Being able to take that little sample or whatever, and it's cool. It's so unexpected, right? On an album like this, you hear it towards the end, and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know? It's very cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that one too, man. It ain't hard to tell. It's a banger, dude. It's a great way to close out the album. And I think it was the single to that one.
I would
I wanna
I
say that
figures,
one.
right? Go figure.
Yeah.
So wait, how did Michael Jackson have something to do with that song?
It was a sample.
The beat. Human nature.
Oh, Okay.
Why?
then
Why?
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was sampled by another rap song too, huh?
It was,
I
yeah.
can't remember which one off the top of my head.
It was more recent though. The other person who sampled that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But no, totally. MJ, man. I mean,
Wow.
you know, MJ was a master of his craft, and using one of his beats, I mean, can't go wrong, you know?
I would love to do a Michael Jackson album sometime in the future. Maybe like Dangerous or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
The one with that Dirty Diana on it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting song.
Yeah. Well, okay, cool. So we have our bottom three. We got our top three. We've really built this album up with its strengths. We always want to end on the strengths.
Yeah.
Before we get into everybody's favorite part, where everybody gets pissed off. But you know me, I love a little bit of chaos.
Let's see what Debbie Downer has to say today.
You actually found one?
It was okay. It was weird, man. So when I was looking for negative reviews, something came up, and I need to ask probably you, Zeke, about it.
Probably Jay-Z, man.
Probably Jay-Z.
I hate this album.
Someone was
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
someone was comparing Nas to someone else named Nav. Do you know?
I never heard of that. No.
There, I came across, and this is not what I'm going to read because I didn't understand what this person was saying. But they're like, "Oh, Nas just ripped off Nav and changed the letter in their name." And I was like trying to look it up, and I'm like, I don't know.
What the fuck
I
are you
couldn't
talking
find
about?
anything
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
So did you Google Nav?
I did.
And you couldn't find anything?
There is a rapper that predates Nas by a good like 5 years maybe, named Nav. But I don't know the connection between the two, and I don't know. It's like
I've never heard of that. That's
Never
interesting.
either.
Yeah.
Man. That's very interesting. It's almost like you know how like Biggie Smalls. There's another rapper that came out or it got leaked at his image and I think the lead track Juicy that broke.
Oh, yeah.
Biggie Smalls. This guy came out with it a few years earlier.
Really?
And I guess Puff Daddy bought
it.
it or something and then used it for Biggie Smalls' image. But that's all.
So let me take that off your hands. It's never gonna work. Takes it over here, you know.
But we don't know if it's legit because this guy was making a lot of noise about it, and then all of a sudden he stopped talking about it. He didn't pursue anything. So
weird.
A lot of people think that Puff Daddy or P Diddy, I'm sorry, paid him off.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
I don't know. That guy's done some questionable things, so I don't know.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole
man.
podcast.
Well, there's like stuff coming out now, right?
Yeah.
He was on Always
Yikes.
Sunny though. That was
He was, huh?
yeah. Okay, so this is from the Music Board app. This is a 2.5 out of 5 stars. So not scathing.
No.
Basically it says, this was enjoyable, but I wasn't blown away by any means. I wasn't born when this dropped, so I can't really fully comprehend the cultural and musical impact that Illmatic had, but I'll just take everyone's word for it, LOL. Flow and lyrics are good, but I don't really like when a song sounds the same the whole way through with little sonic distinction between verses / choruses, etc. And pretty much all of the songs on this record apply to that critique. It's not that anything was bad by any means, I just felt meh the whole time.
I honestly think it's probably like an age gap thing or a different generation. I don't think they could relate to it. And I think, I don't know who was talking about it. Or
Sounds like an old head, right? It's like a term I hear all the time. Like people they're like kind of truists, and like I think with every generation you run into people who will be turned off by kind of what's popular, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To some extent, you and I are old heads now when it comes to like.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm speaking for myself.
No. I definitely I see it,
rap.
man.
I can't really get into that.
Oh, yeah.
And I try, dude. I really do try because I want to be current, even though I'm not current with a lot of things like electronics and stuff like that. But when it comes to music, I'm thirsty for it. I'm seeking out new music because just music in general is just beautiful, man. There's a lot of good things out there.
Yeah.
But I think looking back on it, if this person is a teenager, if this person's in their early 20s, I get if they're looking at it, they're like, well, I don't get this. What is he talking about? Selling crack and then, like the other F-bomb, it was this music is definitely of its time. Mm-hmm. And I think it should be appreciated like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
You're looking at it as, it's a part of history for a reason,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's plenty of like, let's just say, like in the 80s, right? There was plenty of like rock that was about the Cold War. And if I was to listen to that, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because the Cold War was over by the time I could listen to music. And it's like I have no context for, the Wings of Freedom or whatever the hell that was. You know what I mean? Like,
what was YouTube singing about?
No, that was it Poison or something? It was one of those like power
metal bands.
Not or one of those like hair. I don't know. See, I don't even know what the genre is. It was one of those like Rat, Poison.
Yeah, they're like heavy metal, like rap glam bands or whatever.
So, you ever see that coming back? By the way, I don't know if you ever thought about. You ever know?
Kind of hope not. Yeah.
Well, what's it called? That band that Mondo really likes. They're kind of doing that, right?
Who's that?
Is it Steel Panther?
Oh, well, okay. Well, Steel Panther. So they were a band in the 80s.
Right.
They had a different name, which I'm blanking on right now. But they were doing it unironically in the 80s. Like they were trying to compete with those bands.
That's right.
And then once the 90s happened, they turned into a parody band of those bands and changed their name to Steel Panther.
Right.
Yeah. Which I think is genius.
Genius, right.
Yeah. It's funny though, they do have some stories about like some beef they've had with like Motley Crue and all that, which is interesting. So but who doesn't have beef with Motley Crue now? Anyways, I think that about wraps it up for this episode of Let's Get Critical. I think we had a great time. Definitely an album that was way outside my wheelhouse, and thank you, Ziek, for introducing me to that. I definitely want to explore some more. For more information about Frantic Romantic, you can go to franticromanticmusic.com. We're always updating our socials as well. We are very active. We're always writing music, playing music, talking about music. And we have a lot of plans for 2024, so we'll be rolling those out. But for now, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your comments, questions. If you have an album that you'd like for us to listen to, we would love to hear your suggestion, and we will take it into consideration. In the meantime, be sure to check out our YouTube channel that has the visual companion to this podcast. It's the video podcast version. We will see you next time on Let's Get Critical. You may find more information about the band Frantic Romantic by visiting franticromanticmusic.com, as well as our social media platforms. We're always posting information about concerts, new music, and more. So please, visit us, reach out to us. Let us know if there's any albums you'd love for us to review. Until next time, this has been Let's Get Critical. You can catch Frantic Romantic September 14th at the Art Boutique in San Jose, California. We look forward to seeing you there.